A wise man named Tony Robbins once said, repetition is the mother of all skill. That's why today we're trying something new in the pod called Greatest Hits, where we're bringing back past episodes you've told us you love the most.
And no series has ever blown up our texts and DMs more than this one. So without further ado, let's run back the 3 gifts of death. If you've been listening to the show for a while, you know we both have this tattoo on our arms that says Memento Mori. It's Latin for remember you die. Nick, why do we have such a positive tattoo on our arms?
You joke about it being a positive tattoo, but the truth of the matter, it is really positive to us because we think it's one of the most important reminders we can give ourselves every day. It literally strips away all the bullshit and gets you to focus on what truly, truly matters in life.
Yes. So today we're going to try something new on the pod. We're going to experiment with a 3-part series called The 3 Gifts of Death, where each day we're going to share one life-changing lesson that death has taught us and how you can put them into practice today.
Life is beautiful.
Before we get into today's episode, I do want to say that if you're grieving a loss right now, we feel for you. We know how that feels. And it might be a good idea to skip this series right now because we realize we're talking about a touchy subject. And if you're not in the right headspace to receive a message like that, it might be best for you to come back to the series later when the time feels right for you. But for everyone else, we are about to go deep.
Yeah, I just want to touch on that. So grief is a very real thing. But with that said, I actually think if you are in that situation and you are up to listen to this, I think that this message would resonate with you the most because you are so close to the reality of it right now. So with that being said, let's jump right in, Mike, to when this idea really touched our lives.
Yeah, we grew up with Italian immigrant parents, and their game plan for us was very simple. It was a 4-step plan. It was get good grades, get a good job, retire, and then be happy. That was the plan.
The immigrant game plan.
And we did pretty good. We got all the way to the good job part. I was working at a startup that came out of Y Combinator, which is like the Harvard of startup accelerators. You were working your way up the corporate ladder at a Fortune 100 company in Manhattan, and our parents were super proud of us. We were living the dream. There was only one problem, that it wasn't our dream. Our dream was always to start something together, something that we can call our own, something like this podcast, for example. But day after day, we pushed that dream to the side, and we used what I call the someday sword to fight off this whisper inside of us that was saying, go chase that dream.
Mm-hmm.
And Joseph Campbell calls that whisper the whisper of the soul. We all have one at different times saying different things, but for us, this whisper was getting louder and louder. Finally, there was this moment on the train. We're commuting into the city every day together, and we see this guy who's in his mid-50s with sweat dripping down his forehead in this heavy suit and tie. It was this hot summer day, and I'll never forget the way that he looked and then the way that we looked at each other like, we can't end up like him. It like hit us in that moment that if we didn't do something now, we'd be stuck in this hamster wheel, and we'd look back one day and regret the shit out of this time, this precious time that we are wasting. And we fast forwarded all the way to the end of our lives and thinking this pain of regret that we'd feel if we stayed on this path. And this question came to us, if not now, when? Is someday really this thing that you are going to do? Or are you going to do it now?
Yeah.
And so that very next day, we walked into our boss's office and we quit our jobs. And I wish that I could tell you that everything after that was great. I mean, at first, it was fucking awesome. We felt like we had escaped from prison. We felt like the world was ours. But you quickly realize when you quit your job that entrepreneurship is like being stranded in the middle of the ocean without a life jacket. You're just trying to survive. And eventually we ended up even more miserable than before because it was a super anxious time. Our bank accounts went negative and it really sucked. Eventually we did figure things out and we built this amazing nonprofit together, and then we traveled the world in the Amazing Race, did all these things that we would have never done if we stayed on that train that day.
Yeah.
But even if we didn't, I think that we'd still be happy that we quit our jobs, because the pain of regret that we'd feel if we didn't at least try,
Yeah.
nothing is worse than that pain in our eyes. And that really brings us to this first gift that death gives us: courage.
Yeah. Courage. And it's a beautiful gift when you really think about it, because it's the complete opposite of regret, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And we started this entire podcast series, like our first episode ever, by reviewing the book, The Five Regrets of the Dying, by a hospice care nurse named Bronnie Ware. And she compiled these top five regrets of the dying. And the number one regret that she had listed was, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me.
Yep.
So the number one regret was that they didn't live their life with courage.
Yeah. I think that we all have this whisper, like I said. And I think that's the power of this episode. Why I said this could be the most powerful episode we potentially could ever record. Because if you have that whisper right now, whether it's saying, for us, quit your job, or whether it's saying take the new job, or whether it's saying move back home or move out of your home, or whether it's saying give back the ring or buy the ring, like, your whisper could be saying a multitude of different things. Like, for example, you loved the whisper that I had for 3 years when I was with my ex, and it was saying, get the fuck out of there. And Nick couldn't wait for me to listen to that one. I finally did. But the thing about this whisper is it's pretty clear what that thing is saying. You can feel it. You know what it's saying. But the hard part is having the courage to actually do something about it. And
Yeah.
that's why this concept of memento mori, of remembering you die, of realizing that you really don't know how much time you have left,
Yeah.
is such a powerful motivating force to give you that courage to go and make that change and listen to that whisper.
Yeah. And you know that we are all about action, right? So we don't want to just say, okay, this idea of, okay, remember you die. It's all about, you got to take action on this little whisper in your head. We want to provide you with an actual tool that you can use, that Mike and I used. And we stole this from Jeff Bezos when he quit his Wall Street job. And it's called the regret minimization framework. Basically, you picture yourself on a rocking chair at the age of 80 or 90 years old, and you're looking back on your life. And you ask yourself, will I regret not trying whatever it is you want to try when you're 80? And if the answer to that question is yes, then okay, that's data and you should probably do it. But Jeff Bezos provides a second question in this regret minimization framework that I really like, which is, if I fail, can I recover?
That's good. I like that.
So it's very practical, right? So you go to 80, it's like, okay, will I regret this if I don't do it? Yes, I'll regret it. And then if I did it and I failed, can I recover from it? And the answer is yes, I can probably recover. So I quit my job. Can I get a new job? Yes,
What about relationship, though? It's like, can you get a new relationship, I guess?
absolutely. Or you might be able to go back to that one. I mean,
That's true, too. Yeah.
so that is the practical tool that I want to share with people to take action on this idea.
I really
Do
like that.
the rocking chair test, the regret minimization framework. It's a really powerful one. It got us to change our lives, and hopefully it can get you to change yours. Anything you want to add to that, Mike?
No, I think you nailed it. Just remember you die.
Yeah. All right. So that's your call to action for today. We love you. Thanks for hanging out with us. Peace.